The time has come. The AFL season is back for 2023. I am so excited, as I know lots of my viewers are as well. And I'm going to do a weekly tipping video to see who I think is going to win and who I think is going to lose. I think I'm going to be awful at this, but let's give it a shot. Now, don't forget, we still have time for you to enter our Super Brew tipping competition. See if you can beat me. I don't think you can, but the link is down below or in the Discord server, so get joining and seeing if you can beat me. The first game of the season is Richmond versus Carlton. A really, really interesting matchup at the MCG, I think, on Thursday. Who do I think is going to win? It's a tough one. Now, we've got the predictions from the betting site, which is Hollywood Bets. Never heard of them. Anyway, Richmond are clearly the favourites. Just about. Now, I think Carlton, I said this, I'm going to quick rundown of my thoughts as well, but Carlton are certainly, in my opinion, going to just break the top 8, the playoffs. I know some people think they'll do better than I think. Richmond are a team that have apparently strengthened their team and are looking to do better than last year. But I'm going to go along the lines of what I think. I know it's against the odds, but I'm going to go for a Carlton win. I don't think it's going to be a lot. I don't think it's going to be by a lot. I'm going to say Carlton are going to win by 6. Ready for all the comments down below. Carlton by 6. I don't think it's going to be a huge result. If Richmond have improved, great, but I also think Carlton have improved. So, Carlton by 6. Game 2 is possibly the game of the round. Geelong Cats versus Collingwood. 2 teams that I think at the end of the season will be up at the top. Geelong, I predicted them not to finish top. I predicted them to finish 4th or 5th, if I remember rightly. But I just don't know with Geelong. They are still a brilliant team. Collingwood, they did perform well. They won games last year quite often by the skin of their teeth. It's at the MCG, so I don't really think that's any real advantage. If anything, it's an advantage to Collingwood, but I don't think it makes a huge amount of difference. So the game on Friday, it's a tough one. I know I go along the lines of ABC, anything but Collingwood, but I'm going to go for Collingwood. Once again, I don't think it's going to be a big margin. Similar to the Carlton game, I don't think it's going to be a big margin. I'm going to go by 6 again. Collingwood by 6. It's a tough one. I might be right, might be wrong. It's a tough one. I'm going to go Collingwood by 6. The third game of the week is North versus West Coast. It is basically the 2 worst teams in the league. And I'm so sorry if you're a North or an Eagles fan, but it's true. It's true at this present point, or at least at the end of last season, that's what we've got to go by. They are the 2 worst teams that I predicted to finish in the 17th and 18th spot. And this is a tough one. Now, I'm going to go for North because they're plucky. From what I've seen from them, especially from last year, yes, they are rubbish, but they are plucky in defeat and they work their socks off. And I just think the work rate from North will win the day. And once again, it's a tough one. It really, really is a tough one. And I think that is what's great about AFL, in that you don't know what you're going to get. You really don't know who's going to win which game. You know, you could have a top team playing against the bottom team, and you will get surprise results. I'm going to go North. I'm going to go North by 15. The next game on a Saturday the 18th, Port Adelaide versus Brisbane Lions. Another one, yes, on paper, Brisbane should win. They are just about favourites for the game. Port Adelaide, once again, they're a plucky team that try again. Do they have the quality that Brisbane have? I've got to go with the favourites here. That's Brisbane. But it could, who knows? Port could win. Brisbane, they are a quality team. I'm going to go by 20, I think. It could be more, could be less. Brisbane by 20. Another game at the MCG on Saturday is the Demons versus the Bulldogs. The Demons are such a quality team. You know they're going to finish easily within the top 8 and probably within the top 4. They've got the best ruckman in the league and they are just a great team. The Western Bulldogs, I don't think they show enough promise. I think they'll be near the bottom of the table, and I just think Melbourne will start strong. That seems to be the way recently. They start strong. They sort of fade, especially if you look at last season. They faded near the end, but they start strong. Melbourne, I think, are going to win comfortably here. I would say 20. I'm going to go 26. 26. I think that's a big score for Melbourne, and I don't think the Western Bulldogs will be anywhere near it. At the Metricon we go with Gold Coast Suns versus my Sydney Swans. Now, clearly, I think the Sydney Swans are going to win. That is not going to change no matter what I look at, and they are clearly favourites by a decent amount. Now, I know Sydney Swans sometimes struggle first game, but Sydney Swans are as strong, and I think if I was in their minds, I think they've got now something to prove. They really cocked up that grand final, and I was there. I know they cocked up the grand final. And so I think they've really got to come out and prove what they're capable of. Yes, it was great to get to the final, but to be absolutely destroyed, that is the last memory I have of my beloved Swans. So I think Swans got to come out strong. Gold Coast, I'm sorry, they're not a good team, in my opinion, and they will be near the bottom of the table at the end of the season. I'm not even doubting that. It's going to be a big win. I'm sure people are going to be like, what are you talking about in the comments? Feel free. Google likes it. So I'm going Sydney by 30. Now to the Giants Stadium over in Sydney, the GWS Giants versus Adelaide Crows. It's a tough one because I think actually both teams will be sort of middle in the pack at the end of the season. They're both teams that will get good results and will also have absolutely shocking results. This is possibly one of the tougher games to call, actually, because you don't know which team's coming out of the stands. You don't know what team is going to perform. If it was me, I probably would go along the lines of the betting odds. GWS, I think they should win on paper. That is on paper and only just winning on paper. I think it should be a close game. I'm gonna do Giants by 6, so 1 goal, but I'm not confident with that at all because the Crows are perfectly capable of showing the Giants up. The MCG is getting a lot of games this week, it seems. On Sunday, we then go Hawthorn versus Essendon. Essendon, on paper, are apparently the favourites. And once again, Essendon are a team that either does really well or really badly. They never seem to do anything average in the time that I've watched them, and sometimes average is enough. I think Essendon are one of those teams, like Giants and like Adelaide, that you don't know what team's turning up, which makes it very, very difficult to predict if they're going to win or not. Now, I know they're technically the favourites here, but I'm going to go along the lines of they're not going to turn up for the first day of the season. So I'm going to go for Hawthorn. Another close one. No, actually, I think Hawthorn are going to do all right. I'm going to do Hawthorn by 15. No, Hawthorn by 12. I'm going to go Hawthorn by 12 on this one. The last game at the Marvel. When we were in Australia, Melbourne, we actually stayed next to the Marvel, and it's had a lot of work done by the looks of it because it was under construction. So at the Marvel, St Kilda versus the Dockers. Now, St Kilda, I think it's generally accepted, even by St Kilda fans, that St Kilda are not very good. I predicted that the Dockers are going to have a good season. I think I predicted them to finish second. At the end of the season, I will look back at my final predictions, but I'm going to go Dockers. They're a strong team. They work their backsides off, and they've got some talent, and they've got an eye for goal. St Kilda have none of that. I'm sorry. I'm going to go Dockers by 20, but in my opinion, it could be more, as clearly the betting odds certainly think that for Fremantle. They are strongly favourites in this game. So there we have it. They are my predictions for this week's AFL. Make sure you do join the tipping competition on Superbrew. The link is in the Discord server, which the link of that is in the description down below. So make sure you see if you can beat me. You might do better, who knows? I have no idea how well I will do. Now, this week I will be doing 2 watch-alongs, so make sure you join me. We've got Geelong versus Collingwood. That should be an absolute cracking game. And then on the Sunday, we have got St Kilda versus Fremantle. There's 2 watch-alongs. Come and join me. It's like me being in your living room while you're in my living room while we're both watching the amazing game of AFL. Thank you so much. This will be a weekly thing. You can see how rubbish my predictions are or how great they are. I'm not sure. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go check out charlieandrob.com to see all our vlog adventures, and I will catch you next time.